Parashat Shoftim, chapter 19, verse 1 reads, "When Hashem your God will cut down the nations whose land Hashem your God gives you, and you will possess them, and you will settle in their cities and in their houses. You shall separate 3 cities for yourselves in the midst of your land, which Hashem your God gives you to possess it." So in Hebrew it reads, "Ki yachrit Adonai Elohecha et hagoyim asher Adonai Elohecha noten lecha et artzam v'vishtam v'yeshavta ba'areihem uvevateihem shalosh arim tavdir lach b'toch artzecha asher Adonai Elohecha noten lecha lerishta." So as I have told you before, that we have words in English like Hashem gives you the land, possess the land, settle in the land. It gives you an idea of what it's saying, but if you really want to know the core of what these words mean, we need to look at the Hebrew word that is used for example, possess. Possess could mean in a few different. It could have a few different meanings. Settle it could mean a few different things. So that's why when I'm reading these verses, I'm usually trying to also read the Hebrew and to explain what the pertinent Hebrew words in the psukim, in the verses are, so that you get an idea of what it really means. So there won't be something. So it won't be vague. You won't. Okay, it says that you will really understand the core, the shorish, the root of what is actually being communicated in these verses. For example, in the beginning it says, "When Hashem your God will cut down the nations." So the word there is ki yachrit. So karet is a very, very, very strong word in the Hebrew language. Karet in Hebrew means extermination, excommunication, divine punishment by premature death. So you can see that it's a very, very, very strong word. So when it says, "When Hashem your God will cut down the nations whose land Hashem your God gives you," it says ki yachrit. So yachrit, the shorish of that is karet, and like I told you, it's a very, very, very strong word, and it means extermination. Is completely put outside, finished. So the verse is communicating that these nations, these 7 nations who were living in the land of Canaan, that Hashem did karet with them, so to speak, and that means that they were finished, and they were because of what they were doing on the land. As I've told you before, they had traditions and practices and their lifestyle and their idol worship and all of these things that they were doing. All of these things polluted the land, and the land basically wanted to vomit them out, so to speak. That's how strong and disgusting the practices of these peoples were. So as the land had been promised to Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, Avraham, Yitzchak and Yaakov, when it came time for the Jewish people to inherit the land, they were told to come to the land, and here it says that there is, Hashem is going to cut down, excommunicate, exterminate these nations, these 7 nations, and their land Hashem is giving you, and you will possess this land and you will settle in this land. Because it says, where are we? Okay, so when it comes to the land, it says noten lecha, that means to give to you, et artzam, their land, whose land, these 7 Canaanite nations, v'vishtam, and you will inherit and physically possess this land, vayashavta, and you will settle, dwell, reside. That's what the verse is communicating. The land is being taken away from these Canaanite nations. It's no longer theirs. It's being given to you, and you will inherit it, possess this land, and you must settle in this land. There is another verse also in chapter 19, which is where we are. We've just read chapter 19, verse 1 and 2, and now we are staying in chapter 19, and we are reading verse 8. And verse 8 says, "When Hashem will broaden your boundary, as he swore to your forefathers, and he will give you the entire land that he spoke to your forefathers to give." So in Hebrew it says, "V'im yachiv Adonai Elohecha et gvulcha kasher nishba lavotecha latet lecha et kol haaretz asher diber latet lavotecha." So yachiv, the root of that is rachav, which means to widen. So it says broaden your boundaries, so it means widen. Gvulcha, it means your boundary. So that's self-explanatory, the boundaries of the land. Ka'asher nishba, so nishba, it means, it basically means an oath. An oath was sworn. So Hashem had sworn an oath to lavotecha, to your fathers, latet lecha, to give to you, the Jewish people, et kol haaretz, all of the land, asher diber, that Hashem spoke of, latet lavotecha, that he spoke to give to the forefathers. So that Hashem swore in an oath. He took an oath and he swore to our forefathers that he would give, that he actually, the land of Eretz Canaan was actually theirs, and it passed on. So it was given to Avraham, and then that passed on to Yitzchak, and then that passed on to Yaakov. And as we know that Yaakov had, there were 12 tribes. There's 12 tribes in the Jewish people. And so when it came time for the Jewish people to inherit the land, this oath that Hashem swore to Avraham and to Yitzchak and to Yaakov, it was now being fulfilled, and the land was now being given like it was sworn by God to our forefathers.